Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Deni Setiawan and PM2 44111031 from the Faculty of Economic and Business Management Program, Class 24A. In this video, I will present a material titled Consumer Protection in a Business Law, Safeguarding the Marketplace. Why consumer protection matters: preventing exploitation and ensuring fairness. Consumer protection is not merely a legal formality, it is a fundamental pillar of a functioning economy and a just society. It establishes a framework that safeguards individuals against the potential pitfall of commercial transactions, ensuring that power imbalance between business and consumer do not lead to exploitation. First, prevent exploitation. Without robust consumer protection, manufacturers and sellers could engage in predatory practices, taking advantage of consumers' lack of information or bargaining power. Ensure truthful information and fair treatment. Consumers have the right to accurate information about products and services, enabling them to make informed decisions. Fair treatment extends to pricing, contract terms, and post-purchase support. Provides legal remedies when goods are faulty, services are subpar, or promises are broken. Consumer protection laws offer clear avenue for redress, empowering individuals to seek compensation, repairs, or replacement. Key consumer protection laws overview: a global perspective. The Consumer Protection Act 1986 in India. This landmark legislation in India provides for the better protection of consumer interests. It covers all goods and services, unless specifically exempt by the central government, and applies to all sectors, whether private, public, or cooperative. Sale of Goods and Supply of Service Act 1980, Ireland. An example from Ireland, this act sets out the implied terms in contract for the sale of goods and supply of service, such as goods being merchantable quality, fit for purpose, and service being carried out with due skills and care. Federal Trade Commission Act 1914, USA. In the United States, the FTC Act prohibits unfair methods of competition and unfair or deceptive acts or practices in commerce. The Federal Trade Commission wields significant enforcement power to protect consumers. Sale of goods. Other international laws. Similar laws exist across the globe, including the Consumer Rights Act 2015 in UK, the Australian Consumer Law, and various Europe directives, all aiming to ensure fair trading and protect consumer welfare. Consumer rights under the law, empowering the individual. A cornerstone of consumer protection is the clear articulation of fundamental rights. These rights serve as a guiding principle for legislation and empower consumers to demand fairness and accountability from business. Right to safety. Consumers have the right to be protected against the marketing of goods and services which are hazardous to life and property. This includes product safety standards, warnings, and recalls of dangerous items. Right to choose. The right to be assured, wherever possible, access to a variety of goods and services at competitive price. This promotes healthy competition and prevents monopolies from restricting consumer options. Right to be informed. The right to be informed about the quality, quantity, potency, purity, standard, and price of goods or service. To protect the consumer against unfair trade practices. This combats false or misleading claims and ensure transparency. Right to redress. The right to seek redressal against unfair trade practices or restrictive trade practices or unscrupulous exploitation of consumer. This guarantees mechanism for a compensation, repair, replacement, or a full refund when things go wrong. Common unfair trade practices. Identifying deception. Unfair trade practices undermine consumer trust and distort market fairness. Recognizing these participants is the first step toward effective consumer protection. False advertising and misleading claims. This includes exaggerated claims, omission of material facts, or using misleading visual representation. For instance, labeling an item 100% cotton when it's a blend, or showcasing features that the product lacks. Selling defective or substandard goods. Providing products that do not meet advertised quality, are unfit for their intended purpose, or are inherently faulty, posing a risk to the consumer. Dishonor guarantees and warranties. Failing to uphold explicit or implied promises made regarding product performance, durability, or repair services after sale. Hidden charges and unfair pricing tactics. Concealing additional fees until the point of purchase, paid and switch pricing, or charging excessively for basic services without prior disclosure. Pyramid scams and multi-level marketing, or MLM. This often rely on recruiting new participants rather than genuine product sales, with it a significant risk of financial loss for those at the bottom. Planned obsolescence. Designing product to have an artificially limited useful life to encourage repeat purchase, even if they could be made more durable. Redress mechanism. How consumers get justice. When consumer rights are violated, effective redress mechanisms are crucial. This system provides consumers with avenues to seek resolution and compensation for their grievances. Types of redress available. Consumer can typically seek various forms of relief, including cash refunds for unsatisfactory purchases, repairs for faulty products, replacement for imperishable items, or credit notes for future purchases. The specific remedy often depends on the nature of the fault and local legislation. Three-tier consumer dispute resolution. India, for example. In countries like India, a structured system facilitates dispute resolution. This includes district consumer dispute redressal commissions for claims up to a certain value, state commissions for higher value claims and appeals, and national commission for the highest value claims and appeals from state commissions, ensuring accessibility and escalating resolution for more complex cases. Role of consumer courts and tribunals. Many jurisdictions establish special consumer courts or small claims tribunals. These bodies are designed to provide speedy and inexpensive justice, often with a simplified procedures that do not require extensive legal representation, making them accessible to the average consumer. Mediation and arbitration. Alternative dispute resolution or ADR methods like mediation and arbitration are increasingly used process allows parties to resolve disputes outside of courts, often leading to quicker, less adversarial, and more cost-effective solutions. Landmark case Donahue v. Stevenson in 1932. The case of Donahue v. Stevenson in 1932 is a foundational pillar in the development of modern product liability and consumer protection laws, particularly within common law jurisdiction. This pivotal legal battle, often referred to as the snail in the bottle case, established the principle of a manufacturer's duty of care to ultimate consumer. The fact Miss Donahue consumed a ginger beer bought by a friend, only to discover a decomposed snail at the bottom of the opaque bottle. She subsequently became ill and sued the manufacturer, Mr. Stevenson. The legal challenges. At the time, there was no direct contractual relationship between Miss Donahue and Mr. Stevenson. Traditional contract law would have prevented her from suing. The case therefore hinted on establishing a duty of care outside of contract. Lord Atkins' neighbor principles. The House of Lords, in a landmark decision found in a paper of Miss Donahue, Lord Atkins articulated the neighbor principles, stating that one must take reasonable care to avoid acts or omissions which can reasonably foresee would be likely to injure your neighbor. In this context, a manufacturer's neighbor was the consumer who would ultimately use their product. Foundation for product liability. This ruling established the concept of manufacturer's liability for defective product to consumers. Even in the absence of a direct contract, it paved the way for subsequent legislation and legal precedents that protect consumers from harm caused by unsafe products. Impact on consumer protection. Donahue v. Stevenson significantly strengthened consumer rights by holding manufacturers accountable for the safety and quality for their goods, thereby laying a crucial foundation for modern consumer protection laws globally. Role of regulatory bodies and consumer organizations. Beyond legislation, a network of organizations plays a crucial role in enforcing consumer laws, advocating for the consumer rights, and educating the public. Fair Trade Commission or FTC. In the USA, the FTC is a powerful independent agency that protects consumers by stopping unfair, deceptive, or fraudulent practices in the marketplace. It enforces various consumer protection laws and issues penalties for violations. Consumer associations. Organizations like Consumers International and National Consumer Advocacy groups play a vital role. They lobby for stronger consumer laws, conduct product testing, raise awareness about consumer issues, and provide advice and support to individuals facing disputes. Ombudsman Office. Many countries have ombudsman office like Financial Ombudsman Service, Telecommunication Ombudsman. These independent bodies investigate complaints from consumers about business and organizations, aiming for fair and impartial resolution without requiring costly court proceedings. National regulatory agencies. Beyond general consumer protection bodies, specific industries often have their own regulation, like food safety authorities, financial conduct authorities. These agencies set standards, monitor compliance, and enforce rules pertinent to their sector. Practical tips for consumer in business navigating the marketplace ethically. For consumer, always check product claims. To know plenty trust advertising, read labels, research product reviews, and verify any extraordinary claims. Keep receipts and records. Proof of purchase, warranty cards, and any communication with the seller are crucial for making a complaint for seeking redress. Report false and promptly. The sooner you report an issue, the easier it is to resolve. Be clear and concise in your communication and keep copies of all correspondence. Understand terms and conditions. Before making a significant purchase or signing a contract, truly read and understand all terms, especially concerning return, refund, and warranties. Use trusted payment methods. Opt for payment methods that offer buyer protection, such as credit cards or secure online payment platforms. And for the business, comply with laws. Ignorance is not an excuse. Ensure all business practices from advertising to sales and customer service adhere strictly to consumer protection legislation. Avoid deceptive practices. Uphold transparency and honesty in all dealings. Refrain from false advertising, hidden fees, or misleading sales tactics. Provide clear guarantees. Clearly state warranty terms, written policies, and after-sales service agreement. Honor these commitments without undue hassle. Prioritize customer service. Responsive and fair handling of a customer complaints can turn a negative experience into a positive one and build long-term loyalty. Train employees. Ensure all staff are aware to consumer rights and company policies regarding customer interaction, complaints, and legal compliance. Conclusion: building trust through consumer protection. Consumer protection is not a barrier to the business. It is a catalyst for sustainable growth and a healthy market ecosystem. Foster fair markets and growth. Robust consumer protection laws create a level playing field, encouraging ethical competition and deterring dishonest practices. This environment ultimately benefits consumers through better product and service, and business through increased trust and sustainable growth. It empowers consumers, drives accountability. Informed and empowered consumers are more discerning, demanding higher quality and ethical conduct from businesses. The dynamic fosters accountability and innovation as a business strives to meet consumer expectations and avoid legal repercussions. Essential for all stakeholders. Understanding consumer rights and business obligations is paramount. For consumers, it means making informed choices and knowing how to seek redress. And for business, it means operating legally, building reputation, and securing long-term customer loyalty. Ultimately, the collective adherence to consumer protection principle builds a foundation of trust, the most valuable currency in any marketplace. Well, that concludes my presentation. If there are any mistakes, I sincerely apologize and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.